So if you have been in the loop about what's been going on in the NBA, other than the Knicks ended up winning the championship, you know that the Giannis drama is picking up again. The Giannis trade drama is picking up again, and I feel always around this time during the offseason, I always feel, I don't want to say bad for Giannis, but I always feel like a way for Giannis because it's it's really, in my opinion, it's a shame that like he ended up winning the championship for his organization, right? That's something that a lot of players want to do in their careers. They never end up, having a chance to do it. And so Giannis managed to win the championship, win Finals MVP, won MVP back to back, all this stuff, 2-time MVP, all these amazing things that Giannis has had a chance to do, right? And it's crazy because Giannis did these things, and every year it seems like, at least in my view, it seems like that his reward for being such a great player for a organization like the Milwaukee Bucks, his reward for that being an MVP, all this stuff, MVP, pretty much the franchise leader in everything. If you go check the Bucks franchise like records, I believe Giannis has, if not all, like at least close to all of them. Like it's not even close. And his reward for that has been every single year he's in trade drama. Every single year he's in trade rumors. Every single year he's rumored to be traded somewhere else, rumored to be going somewhere else. Every offseason he can't even have a time of peace because if he's in New York, people think he's about to go to the Knicks, or if he's in LA, people think he's about to go to the Lakers, or if he in Atlanta, people think he's finna go to the Hawks. It's like whatever he does, I feel like it's so criticized, but I feel like it's not. I feel like in areas, and no offense to other players, but I feel like it's a lot of other areas that other players can be in that same position with better reasoning. Giannis is in that position when, like I said, he's bought a championship to his organization, won MVP, the franchise leader in pretty much everything for the Milwaukee Bucks, has been that constant rock for the Bucks, like as far as being the guy who just held it together pretty much. Like they've always been able to rely on him. And of course, the money they make off of having Giannis on the team is freaking ridiculous. With jersey sales and everything. Plus he got the shoe deal and all of that. So just the publicity that Giannis has brought into the organization, and just the fact of how I want to say how just like set on just being a good player Giannis is, it's done wonders for the organization. And his reward for that every single year, in my opinion, has been now don't get me wrong, he does get the max contracts, he still get the contract extensions and all of that. He does still get that. But his reward, you would think, for being like the guy that's pretty much held the Bucks together, you would think his reward would be, hey Giannis, okay, instead of having you in trade rumors or something like that, let's do something like I don't know, let's go ahead and pretty much tell everybody that your jersey is going to be retired when you retire, because that's pretty much a given. So instead of having positive publicity like that, it's always followed up by trade rumors like we're talking about now. Now, if you don't know what the latest one has been, this has been the ongoing trade rumor for quite a while. If you don't know, Giannis was supposed to be traded like 6 times already. Okay, like every single offseason he's supposed to be traded. But the one that's stood the test of time has been the rumor that Giannis and the Miami Heat are trying to acquire Giannis Antetokounmpo to pair obviously with Bam Adebayo. So it'll be Giannis and Bam. And I have no problem with that. Like I get I guess I would say the idea. And I actually think it'd be a pretty dope team, to be completely honest with you. Having Giannis and Bam, of course, over time, soon as Giannis gets there, you're gonna have a plethora of shooters just pretty much like calling pretty much begging to be on the team because I mean with Bam and Giannis on the court, you know it's going to be a lot of shooting opportunities because with Giannis and Bam on the court, it's only so much you can do to stop them from abusing the paint pause. It's only so much you can do to stop them from, from going to the basket every single time. It's only so much you can do. So when you do, if you do manage to, anchor your defense to the point to where you can stop them, that's where the shooters will come into play because they can just pass it out to the 3-point line and then it's pretty much good night because if the shooters do their job, it'll be no possible way that you can keep the shooters in check. Plus, you got to keep the shooters in check. Plus, keep Giannis and Bam in check all game. And it's just be too much chaos for you to control, especially in like a playoff series type of situation. It's too much. It's too much that can happen because, excuse me, Bam can go off, and then Giannis can do his thing. Or it could be vice versa. Giannis can go off and Bam could just do his regular. And then if the shooters just once again do their job and do what they are going to be brought to the team to do, then they should have no worries. And especially if they can get like in my opinion, the picture perfect thing would be if they can get like a nice solidified point guard. That would be whew. I'm not Chris Paul, with Bam Adebayo and Giannis, I think that'd be a point guard's dream. I know if I was, obviously I'm not, but if I was hypothetically a point guard, what's better than being like the point guard to control that? Like you pretty much have your assist already made for you. All you got to do is go through the motions out there because you have Giannis, you have Bam. That's going to be where most of your assists go to right there. It ain't going to be too much, well, let me try to figure out how I can creatively. No, you get the basketball to Bam and you get the basketball to Giannis. That's where that's probably 8 assists right there between the two of them. That's probably 8 assists right there. And if they're both having one of them games to where they're just going crazy, like, Bam dropping 83, like if he have one of them games again, that's what at least 15 assists, at least 13, 15 assists. Then Giannis doing his thing. That's another, like I said, at least 4, 5 a night. So that's already 20-something assists right there. Like, so the point guard, in my opinion, the point guards that would be, once again, like the shooters, that would be applying, if you will, to be on this team would be freaking insane, and for good reason, because you're playing with two great, pause on this, with two great big men, pause, that both have that driving force. I feel like they both play with that, that intensity. I feel like they both have that intensity that they can kind of match each other with, and I think it would be great for stuff like I said, like playoff series, and when you need to kind of feed off of each other. I feel like in a playoff series, Bam and Giannis will be perfect for like kind of rekindling that energy off of one another. Like, okay, you already know the Greek Freak is pretty much like this. Giannis plays, at least from the outside looking in, he plays in my view like this. Whoever is out there in my way tonight, they better move, because I'm going to the basket every single time tonight if I have to. That's how I feel like Giannis approaches, like when he really wants to just go full Greek Freak, just crazy mode. He like, I'm going to the rim every single time. I don't care who out there. I'm going to the rim every single time. That's what it is. That's how I feel like that Giannis, like when he really snaps into it, that's how I feel like Giannis plays. And Bam is pretty much the same way. It's just Bam is more, I compare Bam's like turned on mode, pause, to where like when he's full, like in full go mode, I compare his go mode to like Cat. Like I was talking about in the finals with Karl Anthony Towns. When Karl Anthony Towns turns it on, like when he really turns it on, like and like it's going like full all out, like the best Cat we could possibly get. When Karl Anthony Towns goes like that, That Karl Anthony Towns can drop 50. I'm not even lying. He can drop 50 probably easily if he really wanted to. He's just on a team to where he's probably never going to have to do that. He's on a team with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. You ain't never going to need to drop no 50 points. As we just saw, he's an NBA champion and didn't need to drop 50. So that's what my point exactly. But Bam, when he's on that mode, can do that. We see dude drop 83 points. Like, we see what he can do when he's fully on go mode and when he just get fully locked in. Dude drop 83 points. Broke Kobe's record. Like, that's crazy. So, but I feel like Bam takes over a game from the aspect of Bam can kind of get into his rhythm from the 3-point line. He can go to the mid range. Then he can also go to the basket. Then he can also kind of, if he wants to, kind of, make a couple passes. So he kind of takes over the game, like I said, more like a cat would. Giannis take over the game is just straight just kind of like a LeBron type thing. Like, he just go like, hey, I'm going to the, like prime LeBron was. Like, I'm going to the basket. I don't care what's going on. I don't care who in the paint. I don't care who near the basket. I am going to the basket every single time. I dare someone to stop me. That's Giannis' mentality when he's fully on go mode. So I feel like them pairing with each other would be great. And I feel like the results from that would be, at least, I know this might not sound impressive to a lot of people, and arguably it's not, but I think the results will be, for sure, the Heat are getting past for sure they're making it to the second round. That's for sure. They're for sure making it to the second round. And I think because the team that I feel like they would probably meet in the third round potentially would be a great matchup, and I would pay money to see that. I think it would be the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks going against each other in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think it would be an absolute master class of a series. So if Miami can pull this off, it will be great. The thing is, can Miami actually pull this off? Because it's gotten to the point now, and this is not just with Miami, because I know Milwaukee has complained about not liking Miami's individual assets to get the deal done. So what they're saying is Milwaukee isn't against getting the deal done. Milwaukee just actually wants something valuable or valuable enough to them back. So they're not against doing the deal. They just want something back to where they feel like that they're getting compensated for giving up Giannis. That's pretty much what it is. So they're open to doing the deal, but Miami has to find a way to make the offer attractive enough to where, okay, Milwaukee's like, okay, we're getting compensated for giving you Giannis. Then I feel like the deal will get done, and then we can move forward with, actually seeing how the duo actually, works out and who else is added to the team and stuff like that. But Milwaukee, from what I've heard, is open to do the deal. It's just Miami has to make it attractive enough for Milwaukee to even bite. And rightfully so, because let's not sugarcoat it, right? Essentially, you're giving up Giannis. I mean, I hate to down players or down assets. I don't want, and I'm not trying to bash any player or say any player is, worth more than the other, or this player isn't worth. I'm not trying to say that at all. All these players are the 1% of the 1%. They play in the NBA for a freaking reason. They are the 1% of the 1%, okay? So they are all world class, okay? But let's keep it real here. Essentially, you're trading Giannis, all right? Like I said, who's been your franchise floor raiser for an extensive period of time, that I don't feel like that you'll find his replacement anytime soon. But let's just call a spade a spade. You're trading your franchise cornerstone for, let's just keep it real, for a collection of pretty much role players that you're going to get back from Miami. That's what you're getting back. You're going to get back role players. That, like, it's not going to be, you're not getting a Giannis back. You're not getting a Giannis back. You're not getting a player to that level back. You're not getting you're not getting a young star back. Like, you're not getting you're not getting like a Ja Morant back. Like, you're not getting any fair compensation to what you're giving up. What you would be trading Giannis for is pretty much you trade Giannis for a reset. It wouldn't be trading him for a player. It would be trading him so you can restart your organization and reorder your organization how you would like it. Pause. So it would be you trade Giannis and then you have your chance to restart your organization how you want. So you can draft who you want, whoever you want to be the franchise cornerstone. If you want to go the free agent route, you go the free agent route and kind of build up the team that way. You're not getting equal compensation for Giannis. You're never going to get equal compensation for Giannis. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. You're never going to get equal compensation for Giannis. As a Laker fan, one of the most equal compensation trades, hypothetical trades that I've seen, and this was like a while ago. This was maybe like in 2022, maybe. It was a hypothetical trade on X, formerly known as Twitter, but on X it was a hypothetical trade in like I said in 2022. So that was around the time that Anthony Davis was he was still a Laker at that time, and he was struggling with some injuries and struggling with staying healthy and stuff like that. Not his fault. It's just injuries happen, unfortunately. Knock on wood. Injuries happen, and he was really struggling trying to stay healthy. And one of the hypothetical trades that had graced X was the idea of trading Giannis for AD. And that probably is the closest fair compensation trade you're going to get. And that's not even, people like, which I know a lot of people are thinking probably, that's not really even, like, the Lakers at that time would have needed extra picks to make that deal work. But that's not even technically fair compensation for Giannis. But at least that's closer to being fair than what Miami is going to give you. At least with AD, hypothetically. At least with AD, especially at that time, you were getting, you could argue what? At that time, you're getting a top 5 big man in the NBA. Pause. So at that time, okay, that was understandable. That was an understandable compensation trade if that was to happen. With Miami, you're not getting, as far as Milwaukee, you're not getting that back. You're trading Giannis, yes, and then you're going to get role players back and maybe a couple picks. You're going to get role players back, a couple picks, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, best case scenario, restart your organization, start to build up some draft picks, and start to build your organization up from the ground up. That's what you're going to basically trading Giannis for. You're trading Giannis for a chance to simply restart. And I can't blame Milwaukee for doing that because, like I said, I think it's just time. I really, because I'm so tired of, like I said, I feel like this undeserved trade talk about Giannis every single year. I'm so tired of it. Like, I don't feel like Giannis deserves it. I don't feel like that he plays his freaking heart out every time he's on the court. Like, Giannis is one of them players that doesn't have like a chill button, in my opinion. Like, Giannis is one of them players, he just knows hoop. Like he just knows going all, like, kind of like a Russell Westbrook. Like that's how I look at Russell Westbrook. If you get Russell Westbrook on your team, every time he steps onto that court, Russell Westbrook is going full out 100% effort. Like, it's no, Now, does he make mistakes? Of course. Does he have turnovers? Of course. Does he make, sometimes not the best decisions? Of course. Every single player does that. Every single player has made decisions where they're like, I wish I could have that back, or I wish I wouldn't have threw that pass right there, or I wish I wouldn't have shot that shot. I wish I would have actually thought about that more. Every player has those times to where they feel like that. However, Russ is just one of those players that doesn't have a chill button. Okay, he doesn't know how to do that on the court. Like, he just goes all out, full out effort, and that's what he does. Same with Giannis, in my opinion. He just goes full, all out effort, and does it get him in trouble? Of course, but all players have that at some point in time. Does it get Giannis in trouble sometimes? Yes. Like when the biggest example I always bring up is like when Giannis is like fully like on go mode, and like he just is so like in the zone that like when he starts to drive to the rim and start getting all them charging fouls, he doesn't know, he's not trying to do that, but simply because he's like so amped up and like, trying to be amped up and intense and trying to win, he's getting these charging fouls because he's just so like intense in the moment, like just trying to score, trying to, will his team to a win. He doesn't fully have a time to, in my opinion, like fully, grasp it and like understand at times. So it's like, or slow down at times. That's what I'm trying to say. So does it get him in trouble at times? Of course, but he's one of those players that don't have a chill button. So I feel like his effort and all the stuff he's done for your organization and all these great things he's done and the community work he does, and at least from all the stuff I've seen, and from the good way he makes your organization look, for the way he really like just is a trooper as far as just being like a soldier, just like straight up for your organization. Because let's keep it real. All right, let's be real here. Giannis could have put Milwaukee on blast a couple times. That sounds bad and everything, but it's true. If Giannis wanted to, he could have put Milwaukee on blast a couple times, and they couldn't say nothing. Like, perfect example. Before they went and got Drew Holiday, and before they put together that 2021 team, he could have easily put the Milwaukee Bucks on blast for never going to get him a fair chance to win a championship, and it would have been justified. It would have been fully justified if he would have done that. But no, Giannis didn't do that. Giannis sat back, dealt with what was there, and just kind of stayed quiet until Milwaukee finally clicked and said, hey, you know what? Let's not lose the one star we do have. Let's go get some pieces in, pause, that can actually help us contend for a championship. And bam, they went and did that, and it ended up winning a championship. And Giannis was perfectly fine. Never had nothing to say. And even now, he still don't put Milwaukee on blast. Like, yeah, he come out with the trade rumors. But I'll be honest with you, if you're rumored to be traded, and I agree with players on this topic, if you are rumored to be traded every single year, you're on the rumored to be traded list, or every single year people talking about, oh, I wonder where you gonna be traded to this year. If you're one of them players, bruh, after a while, I have no blame with these players that be like, you know what, after a while of that, be like, you know what, yeah, go ahead and trade me. Yeah, go ahead. Because I'll be honest with you guys. If I hypothetically was a player, I could picture myself doing, because you got to think, these people have families, they got kids, they got wives, they got, girlfriends and stuff. It's like, they have so much around them. They got their family. They've built their lives from these places. So when you're talking about every single year trading Giannis, you're talking about him having to relocate all of where he runs his business from. He got to relocate that, get used to it, playing in a new place, get used to like playing with a new system, I mean, I know this probably sounds a little corny, but it is what it is. Actually, traveling to a different a different place, taking a new route to practice and going to the games different and switching up his routine and all that stuff, getting into a new routine, trying to adjust to, and Miami is no joke when it comes to working out and practicing. So he got to get used to that whole practice regimen. He got to get used to the way they practice, the way they do things, the way Miami, he has to get used to all of that. And like I said, include his family, include his significant other, include his, like, all of that. He has to worry about all of that. And after everything he's brought to the Milwaukee Bucks, I understand why after a while, Giannis is like, you know what, just go ahead and trade me. Trade me to Miami. I get it. So, I don't know if this trade happens, but if it does manage to happen, I feel like it will be a great move for Giannis to just, because I don't feel like Miami will be trying to trade him anytime soon. I feel like they will actually probably put Giannis in a position to where he can close out his career with Miami. So I think that'd be a great thing to see. But I'm down for it to happen, though. I just am interested to see if Miami can actually pull off an offer that is attractive enough for Milwaukee to bite. I'm interested to see that, but we shall see, though. It's going to be interesting. Welcome to the offseason, baby.